Welcome to the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast.
This pig came battling.
Just ended up puking last night. It sucked.
Whoa! Ah! We gut it, we wrap it in tinfoil, throw it over the fire.
Hello everyone, this is the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast 42. I'm here with a returning guest, Jared. If you're not new to the podcast, and have listened to some of the past ones, elk hunting would have been the last one with Jared. We had a good time in the elk woods last year. Close call. It was definitely a learning process for us, but we had a good time. But I am bringing Jared back on because he has a very interesting deer hunting story to tell us.
Yeah, we have some post elk hunting talk.
Yep. Post elk hunting talk is we're gonna kind of go with the deer first, and then we'll probably go back to our elk hunt and talk. But this is such a good story. I wanted him to come on and say this. Number one, he killed a hell of a buck, absolute hell of a buck. I'm jealous. It was a great deer, especially with a bow, and I'm gonna let you take it from there.
Oh yeah. So after we got back, we were kind of. We were happy we went, but we were a little salty, with getting skunked. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of we Austin and I kind of dubbed it the revenge tour. Mm-hmm. So got prepared, but just not. I don't think with about as much enthusiasm as the elk hunt. Mm-hmm. We got better cameras and we got set up. We had a new place to hunt, so I decided to get a climber. So, and I've heard the virtue of the climber. I know you'd warned me, during the trip about, the bad things with the climber, and kind of I chalked a lot of that up to just straight the accidents that happen with climbers, just clumsiness and like people just being a little too cavalier with it. So and I'm like, I wanted to get it just due to the mobility. I'm a fire maneuver guy. I wanna get in a tree. I want to be able to move my stand around the property. I don't want to be stuck in a spot and constantly move my ladder stand across the property, and got the climber. Got a nice lone wolf. And I got it.
You got it like brand wise.
Oh it was a badass. I was very happy with it, and got it home, practiced with it. I shaved off, a tree so I could just get up and down. I think I got up and down that damn tree like 10 times with it till I was like, I felt like I was elite, and like, rinse and repeat, keep doing it over and over and over again till it's not an issue, and like, I'm like, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to get this out. And we'd already like picked our trees and everything we were going to use out on the property and everything. And I decided first to take it out to our normal hunting ground, where I'd had a ladder stand, and I put it to use. First problem is I put it on a juniper tree. Yep. And so that number one problem is if anybody knows what the juniper tree is, like it's like tearing a piece of paper in half all the way up, trying to get the climber up the juniper tree. It was a pain in the ass.
And this was like early October, right?
This was around the first week.
That's what I remember. I remember
opening day.
Yep.
This is around opening day time, and so once the rubber met the road, I'm like, God, maybe I made a mistake here with this damn climbing, climber stand. And like, to your listeners, I probably sound like a dumbass. Like, Jesus, I'm like, man, this guy's a pain in the ass. He can't use the climber, like, okay. And needless to say, it didn't work out on the first hunt. So I got down, and I'm like, okay, we'll give it another shot in a few weeks. Not necessarily motivated to go back out and put it back up in a tree. Fast forward to the end of October, rut is starting, and my wife said like, maybe I was gonna wait till like around like the first week of November. That's like traditionally been when I've been able to kill a deer. And she's like, around October 30th, and she's like, you know what, maybe you should go tomorrow. Just out of the blue. It's a nice day and everything. I'm like, well, I guess if you are giving me the opening, I'm gonna go ahead and exploit that. And
You owe her.
yeah, and she will remind you like where the genesis of this started. Okay, so get all my stuff ready. Even when you prepare the night, there's always something, So immediately, the morning started off bad. I'm forgetting stuff. Couldn't find stuff. Couldn't find the rangefinder. The coffee wasn't right. I got up. I was just moving slow. I'm like, God, I got to get my ass out of here. And I'm like,
Which, how far a drive do you have to the farm you're hunting?
probably about 25 minutes.
25 minutes, okay.
Yep, 25 minutes from driveway to parking spot.
Gotcha.
So it was just a mess, and I'm like trying to get there before the sun gets up, and I'm losing the battle.
I've been there.
I'm absolutely losing the battle, and I even when I get to my parking spot, I didn't even park in the right spot. On the side of the road, I got it. I got into like some muddy part and everything. There's mud everywhere. I'm like, oh geez, shit. I'm like, and this is not going well already. So get my stuff, grab the climber, and I feel like I'm carrying everything with me. The ruck, the climber, the bow, everything. I got the bow, it's a little foreshadowing. I've got the bow attached to my day pack. Walking in, I find my tree, eventually found it. And it's already starting to get daylight. I'm like, I'm so damn far behind this in the hunt already. Got up to the tree, got my setup. I set the ruck on the ground. Set the ruck on the ground. I was gonna leave it there, and I was gonna get up a little ways and then jump on the climber. I started to make the climb. I think I may have been 4 or 5 feet. I started to feel the top portion come loose. And I'm like, okay. I thought for a split second there, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Then it dropped. It dropped. I'm like, whew, that was close. Then the bottom dropped out. And then
I can just picture this in my mind.
Yeah. You pictured me flying through the air. Thank God, right. And like this didn't happen at 20 feet. It happened at 4 or 5 feet. It felt like 20 feet.
Yeah.
When you're flying through the air.
Yep.
So immediately, and as I'm falling, I'm thinking, dickhead attack. Right? Yeah. Dumbass. Fall. Yeah. Hit my elbow on a tree. Check to make sure I've still got function immediately. And like, okay, I mean, I got a little bit of a, hit my funny bone. I was verbally cussing myself out like when this happened. I'm like, dumbass, shit, everything you can think of in the book, whispering it to myself, trying not to get too crazy. Yeah. So in the meantime, while all that is going on, I'm making a hell of a racket.
That's what I was going to ask you. How much noise are you making?
A lot.
Yeah. You see why I'm asking this question.
Yes. So there's a reason there's a lot of noise. The noise is the noise is probably echoing through the field. So as I'm doing this, I fall, and my thermos is there. I grab it. And I'm like, well, I grabbed it, took a quick sip of coffee to get my bearings. And I'm like, okay, either I made this is all happening within a minute. I made the decision, like, I'm going to probably have to hunt from the ground today. Yeah. I'm not gonna tempt fate right now, or I'm gonna move somewhere else, go to the other property and sit in the stand. Something different is gonna have to happen today. So, fiddling around with my bag, I just at the corner of my eye it's an upslope. I start to see, what was obviously a deer coming straight at me, and I have coverage. So because I'm down in the defilade, and the deer cannot see me. So I'm like, okay, took a glance, and I'm like, ah, shit. I mean, it's time to go to work here, and so I go down to unclip my bow from the bag from my day pack, and then I took another glance to my left, and then I see this giant rack.
So I have a pause real quick. When you fell, did you land on your day pack?
No,
Okay.
no, it was still sitting on the ground.
Okay, that's I was a little confused on that. I was wondering.
No, I did not destroy my day pack or anything in it.
That's what I was wondering.
Because I was going to get up and then step up on it and then bring my bow up. Because I hadn't even had my harness on yet. Okay. That's the thing, because I was going to get my harness. I had the spider harness inside the back. I was going to start to get it. I was going to get it started. Like I said, people listening to this are probably
literally like right above this table, probably.
Right. It wasn't that bad of a fall. Yeah. But people have gotten paralyzed
from that
far. Right? Yeah. Which my wife doesn't think is very funny.
Yeah, I bet not.
Because she knows somebody where that happened to. Right? And so I had this plan to do all of this, and get my stuff and get up in the tree.
So everybody listening, he had a harness. He was going to put it on.
Yes. I had the harness on, actually.
Just haven't.
I haven't hooked up. I hadn't got the hook up around the tree, so I had a spider harness and everything ready to go. There's no way in hell I was getting up there without a harness. Yeah. That's the way. After the first hunt, but I hadn't even gotten that far yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not putting a damn harness on like 4 feet in the air. I'll be fine. Yeah. So, deer is coming. And deer is a buck. It went from deer to deer is a buck to, okay, now I'm gonna have to at least get ready and make an attempt at, if this deer actually comes into view. So it went in shots. I mean, if you'd seen the movie Platoon, where in the beginning where they're setting up the ambush and he keeps having to like close his eyes to change the outline of the jungle to see if he sees anything different. It kind of happened in that sequence. He was there in the field, and I looked down, and then he was closer, and I looked down again to draw my, and I actually went into like one full motion, attached my release and pulled when I went to pull back so I could at least be at draw if he came in. He was right in front of me.
How close?
25 yards.
No. In the kill zone.
Right there, looking straight at me, wondering what the hell was going on. And I think probably about maybe 1 second to where I made the decision. Standing straight in front of me, just a frontal shot. And basically said, just let her fly, at that time. And I had the shot, lined up the pin, and it just happened so fast. Because we'd been practicing with archery all summer long for the elk hunt.
Yeah, getting ready for the elk hunt. I remember going to bow shoot with you and all that.
Yeah, and then constantly it was like second nature almost. Yep. And I just pulled it back and hit. I heard it hit, and immediately you could hear the thud. And I'm like, I probably just, and like most people probably do, and like I probably just hit the shoulder joint. I'm like, it's immediate doubt. Like, well, the way things have been going, how that's going to go, and just let it sit for a second. So I sat because I've lost deer before for jumping right out of there too fast. Yep. And so I sat for a good 45 minutes, back up
a little bit. What was the immediate, buck's reaction when he took off running? Was he running like he was hurt, you think? Or
I think so. Yeah. I think so. I think he just took off to his right, my left, and, took off into the open field, and then I lost track of him, and I just didn't want to make myself too obvious in case I didn't want him to run into the other county. At that point, I'd all I could think was like, how did I get so lucky?
Yeah. Yeah.
How, and that's like, how is this possible? I mean, it went from chicken poo to chicken salad within literally within 1 minute of me falling out of that. May have even been less than a minute. I don't know. It happened that quickly to where, and I've been told numerous times how lucky I am for that to happen. I'm like, well, I was ready.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you had done enough preseason scouting. Like, you knew you wanted a stand in that tree. Like,
Yeah.
like you put yourself in the correct location. Now, I do have to ask, because of the noise you made. You think he just didn't hear you, or do you think?
Oh, he heard me.
He got curious.
He came running across the field.
Yeah. So you think he thought you were another buck?
So technically, and I've said this story to numerous other hunters at work, and they're like, "Oh, he thought you were another buck."
That's
Being in the middle of the rut, and
he probably made a lot
came
of
in
noise with the brush.
storming across the field, like he was ready to get after it. Let's get it on, and and he couldn't see me.
Yep.
I think that we were talking like if I was up in that stand, he might have even seen me. Being as light as it was, I'm not sure. Maybe not, but I certainly wouldn't have been able to make the shot because the way he came in, there was trees and brush and everything to my immediate left, my 10 o'clock position where I shot him, where I would have been in the stand.
Well, your frontal shot, some of the research and stuff that I've done, a lot of people don't recommend frontal shots
Absolutely
from
not.
a stand because the angle. But if you're on the ground, you got that pocket, you can go right straight through it.
Not only was I on the ground, but I was shooting up.
Okay.
He was about probably a few feet higher than me.
Okay. Interesting.
So I put it right into his left shoulder, and he didn't make it far. Eventually, I made it to. I text you, and I text Austin. I explained to him what was going on, and he's like, "Don't move, don't go anywhere, don't even look for a blood trail." And wait. I would wait a couple hours. And I'm like, I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting a couple hours, And so, eventually, I thought I couldn't find the trail at first, and I'm like, oh, I've got a deer running around Fulton County with an arrow in his shoulder. There's no way. And then once I found it, it was everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, eventually I had to get on my hands and knees and look, but he didn't make it far. He only made it about 100 yards.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah, so when we did look at where the arrow went, it would double lung and heart.
Oh, so just destroyed everything.
Just destroyed him. I mean, there was no getting. I mean, I think the way the angle it went kind of at a little bit of an oblique angle from the front left and all the way through the apices of the left lung, heart, and then the posterior.
Okay.
Posterior lung. Didn't even hit I don't think I hit any abdominal cavity at all.
Do you how did you get a pass through, or the arrow stay in him?
The arrow stayed in him.
Was it still in him when you found him?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
It just
with one.
It went deep though.
Yeah, with one arrow hole, you're gonna have less of a blood trail, obviously.
Right.
But he's bleeding all internally, so he's down in there.
Yeah.
Were you fletchings deep? Were you all the way in? Or how much penetration did you get? You think?
I think there was probably only about 3 or 4 inches of arrow left that was sticking out. It went all the way through the the chest cavity.
And then what? Number one, what broadhead you shooting? And then
Montec. Yeah,
Montec,
the same one I brought to elk. I'm a fixed blade guy. And I don't know if you've talked to to Austin about some of the retractable horror stories that he had this last season.
Yes, I haven't had him on to talk about that yet, but I know him and I have talked, and then I've had my own. Don't get me wrong, I've had him perform excellent before, but I had one bad year with him, and I've switched to fixed blade ever since.
That's what I do. I'm a reliability guy. I try not to get too into the weeds with like maybe this. I'm gonna try this out because it might be better. I can just see the utility of a fixed blade to me is so much nicer. I like I said, I can't have. I would hate to see have a rage broadhead go into some. Then you could wound them.
Yeah.
And then they're just because it didn't retract. So basically, you got a field tip inside of a deer, you know. And I haven't failed with the fixed blade yet, you know. Until I do, you know, that's the way it's going to be.
So anyway, you found the deer.
Yes.
How many points?
10-pointer.
10-pointer. You got it mounted, right?
I did. So 10-pointer. We've seen this deer on camera before, one time. So we've got one picture of him, but we hadn't seen anything for a while. Like to where Austin and I are like, did we blow the deer out?
Because I know Austin was sharing me some of your guys' trail picture, and you guys were hunting some big deer.
We were, and they disappeared. That's the thing about it. It's like it's. I mean, and unfortunately, these one-dimensional images that we get don't tell the whole story.
Correct. I mean, he could be just walking around it.
And
and
he's just staying in the woods until he hears like some idiot falling out of his stand and rolling around. And
man, imagine if we were videotaping. Yeah, the video camera with you. And, and it was actually recorded.
Oh my God!
It'd be viral.
I don't know. If I had a GoPro.
Yeah. That or just me like in the corner just filming the whole thing, and then I'd have to edit out all the cussing.
Okay?
Probably hear me laughing.
No.
The whole time.
Now, listen. Now I want to bring this up though because we laughed about it and I talked about it at work and everyone like the nurses are in the ER are like. Tell the deer hunting story, deer hunting story. Until we had a gentleman I know, I've known for a while, and went way higher than me, fell out of his climber and had a burst fracture of one of his, thoracic vertebrae, and but not paralyzed, thank God. But still, you still got to go to you got to go see the trauma doctor. It's not a. So we weren't as all laughy after that guy came in, but it's still, you can laugh about it on one hand and be careful, but after that, especially after I saw this guy fall and I saw his CT scan and everything like that, I'm like, I'm not going to tempt fate again.
Yep.
I got really, really, really lucky. The hunting gods were with me that day.
Yeah, they were.
Very much so because I've had we struck out in Colorado and everything, and I'm not gonna do the climber again. So I was
gonna ask you got the climber still, or
I actually sold it yesterday.
Did you?
Yep, I got that thing on Marketplace earlier this week, and within a day, I had someone drive 2 hours to come buy it from me. Yeah, so he's all about it, and I just said I'm have fun. It's just not me. It's not my style. So we've got back to ladder stands and
let's see. I have to get you in a tree saddle.
Yeah.
Get you in a tree saddle. You're attached literally from the feet are on the ground. You attach and you're never unattached to the tree.
Yeah, and I've looked at those and I think I might go that route eventually because like I said I like to move around.
I have 3 if you want to borrow one.
I'd love to.
And so I have a problem, but.
No, not a problem. It's a good problem. I get to borrow one.
Yep. I have 2 tethereds, and then I just bought this past spring, late winter, a cruiser saddle. I haven't tried yet, but you're more than welcome to borrow it.
Absolutely, I'd love to. We'd try it out, and I'm not going to take it for granted though. I like to I'll have to practice
because I have had did it happen last year? I forget if it happened last year or the year before. I had twice in 1 year. I had so with if you're new to saddle hunting, you have a tethered and you have a tree line or a safety line. So when you're at the bottom of the tree, you set up your safety line so it's from your waist all the way around, and then you start hooking up your whatever you're using to get up the tree. I was using Hawk helium sticks. I get up the tree, so I'm attached the whole time with the safety line, and I had. Forget if it was my second set of steps or my third. Either way, I had it kick out on me. So now, boom, it kicks out. So it's still attached to the tree, but it's like off, and I'm just hanging from the tree, but by the line. But when I say I fell 6 inches.
Oh yeah, you know, that's not a fall.
No, exactly. I just essentially I had space against the tree. I fell against the tree.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so Take a deep breath, reach down, grab that ladder that kicked out on me, fix it, up I went.
Yep.
So I was never worried about dying. Maybe did it feel the greatest going against a tree? No, but it it's you're attached the whole time.
Yeah.
And then actually I haven't brought it up in the podcast. So I'll tell you since we're telling tree falling stories. I was helping a couple weeks ago. I had a buddy come over and was helping me rehang a hang-on stand. Here's the dumb part with this, and my wife already knows this. I already got yelled at. So I have a safety line, a lifeline rope in that tree already, because now, especially with kids, all my ladder stands and hang-on stands have safety lines. So at the bottom of the stand, you can clip up, and you are attached the whole way. So if you fall at any point in time, you're good. I was taking this hang-on stand off and raising another one higher. And this stand's been on the tree for only a year. And it's one of the old hang-ons that has a chain around it and then your ratchet straps. So I undo the ratchet straps, and now I'm trying to pop that chain off. Well, the tree had grown just enough where it was real tight. So I'm having a hard time yanking this chain off. I didn't bring my harness. I'm not strapped into the safety line.
No.
Even though I have the safety line right there. That's the dumbass part. So anyway, I got my left foot on a big branch, and I have my right foot on a questionable branch, and I knew it was questionable. I'm like, I'll just keep all my weight in my left.
A little sketch.
Yeah.
The sketch. Yeah. Something like out of Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes. So I'm trying to pop this chain off, and I finally, as I'm trying to, that right branch breaks.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm standing up, and I fall, and so I fell to my feet onto that left branch. And my left ass cheek landed all full force on that branch, and then I hugged it, made sure I didn't fall the rest of the 10 to 12 feet to the ground. It hurt like hell. I had a big hematoma on my ass.
Hematoma, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It actually just went away last
I had
week.
one on my elbow from I hit that, so.
So yeah, I didn't fall out of the tree. I fell in the tree. But
I'm sure that there's about 75, there's 3 times as many close calls as there are real injuries. There has to be that nobody talks about.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I don't mind talking about them.
Yeah, so number one,
I'm a dumbass.
And number one, you wear a harness.
Yes.
Use a safety line. And then if you have a safety line, just clip it to yourself. Don't be an idiot like me.
Don't be an idiot. Yeah. And like I said, I even at 4 feet, I probably should have started in, wrapping my harness around the tree, no matter what. And it just goes to show you, no matter how, even if you can still get your ass busted, even after a few feet. My grand scheme plan to do what I was gonna do, get it in the air and then climb up on it. It was just a fool's errand, in the end. And it's funny, and I'll go back to the guy who had that burst fracture, and then I talked to the trauma surgeon on the over at OSF, and he said this is the second burst fracture today from falling out of a tree out of a climber today that he's had to deal with. And that's just okay, I just can't do it. Yeah.
See, guys, the hunting community is stimulating the medical.
Yeah, we're getting that. You're paying for that. That trauma surgeon's Tesla.
Yeah. So you're welcome, surgeons. But anything else you want to talk about involving the deer hunt?
No, I think it went good. As I'm a little more new to hunting than everybody. This was my 3rd year. This will be my 4th year deer hunting, and I got to gut this field stripped. My first time I field stripped on my own. Took it to the chop shop, here in Fairview.
They do a good job.
He does a great job, and took it to then got my meat and took the mount over to Mr. Ford. For the mount, and amazing turnaround time, because I know there have been some issues.
Takes a long time. A lot of
my friend Jeremiah in the ER, he said that he's had some issues with getting his mounted. Right now, year or 2 years.
Yeah, so
in some cases, like
so I know. Was it last summer? Whenever we had that big freeze in Texas, you know what I'm talking about? That big freeze they had. So it would have been, I think, last fall. I didn't realize the biggest taxidermy foam place in America is in Texas. Their plant got shut down during that. So it took them, to my not understanding, it took them quite a while to come back. So that means all the taxidermists who got bought foam from them were way behind.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So they were having issues getting the foam.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't have an issue. I get 2 months.
Good.
2 months. And,
you usually have way more turnaround time.
Yeah, and
you're happy with it? How it looks
you
and
gotta,
all that?
absolutely. Oh, God. We were a little worried, because we started working on, the chest. Maybe we were worried we went
that up, I would think, didn't they?
Yeah, and Brandon at Chop Shop said, he's like, I don't think it'll be a big deal. And then the Ford looked at it and said, that's fine. I can fix that just fine. And I have nothing but
good deal.
Nothing but good thoughts when it comes to that. And
had you kill a buck before that?
No.
No. So that was not only was it your first buck, but that's gonna be harder to top.
It is, but there's one roaming the same area right now that tops that one.
There you go.
So as I was scouting on my birthday, which is what I like to do on my birthdays, go see what's going on and go mark some spots on the old Onyx. I turn the corner, and I'm sure you've done this before, turn the corner and run right into like a big, gigantic buck. There he is, right in front of me. I have the oh shit face, and this one buck was just, we've had this one on camera as well. We've never seen him like live. And he probably about a 12 point. I could tell because I could see the points and all of the velvet on the.
Okay, and we're back having some issues there with I don't know, my charging cord must have went bad or something. It was weird.
No worries, they go bad.
Yep.
But yeah, like I was saying, I'm going back to the well is what I'm. Where I got that buck last year, and so we gonna. It's time management, with life and everything, and with kids and sports and everything now, it's just a little bit harder to get out there like I used to.
My daughter just started dance, so getting used to that. So
yeah,
but she's loving it, and it's only one day a week right now, but I know that's just the beginning.
Mine lasted about a week or two. She had a little. She didn't want. She's not into like staying in line with everybody else. So we pulled her out. Now she wants to do it.
Yeah,
no, we've already been down this road. I'm not going to get on another waiting list to do that again.
Yep. Was that the only deer you guys got last year? Or
I thought about going back out, but when life takes over, I felt pretty good being that with the elk hunt and being with a little bit of redemption in that I was good. I don't know. I can't remember if Austin actually was able to like bring something home.
I think he got a doe.
He got a doe. He got some meat in the freezer.
I thought he got a buck, but that might have been the year before. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, he got a buck the year before, but I know that he's had some problems with some of those rage broadheads and does not want to go that route again. And I hear that a lot more all the time. So.
Yep. Nope. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and I just it was a good hunting year, and like as far as like the Colorado trip, I don't care. I would rather go and walk around where we walked around for like 9 days again and not see anything than go to any other tourist destination in the United States, except for like maybe like some of the other national parks. I know I was really excited before I went, and in a very cheesy kind of way, and I don't care because I was right, and I can't wait to go back. Honestly, and like someday we're gonna do it again. I hope, and learned our lessons, I guess. And
Yep. So Kyle and I already kind of did a recap on this, but I would like to get your perspective on it. So I'd kind of recap what some of my biggest takeaways of that hunt. Number one, I had a blast.
Yes.
Had an absolute blast, even though we didn't get anything. A lot of fun. I enjoyed our campsite when we made a base camp. However, I think next time I wouldn't do that again. Even though we met some good people doing that and stuff, I think we should have stuck with our guns in the first and kept hiking.
I agree.
I will say, number one, on my personally, like what I need to do better, I need to get in way better shape. Like I talked about in the podcast, I was doing martial arts, jiu-jitsu, and judo a lot before that hunt, and I really thought that was just going to carry me through. Because it's like I was not like I'm not doing anything. Yeah. And obviously, when it came, I needed to put miles on my feet. I needed to hike and run more than what I did. So that's number one on mine. Everything else I thought did well. And now I know there's a lot of things that I had in my pack that I would not have in my pack now. And also would bring less food.
I think I'd have to go back and like look at what I was gonna bring, and then when I lay it all out, I'm gonna be, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that type of thing. I agree with you. There's something to, getting on, just sitting down and staying on the side of the mountain and bouncing off of that area. We were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I think maybe go later in the month, and I know that there's been some, if we were going to do public again, definitely.
I wouldn't mind trying to do an outfitter one day just to learn from them.
And that's exactly right.
You tripled or even quadruple your price of that hunt. As soon as you get an outfitter in.
Exactly. The good news is I already have all the gear.
Correct.
The gear is one big thing, and I'm already caught up on a lot of that stuff. I bought bought my own ruck. I rucked about 3 miles before this podcast in all preparation for. I got the old Badlands ruck.
Yep, I forgot that you didn't have that pack wasn't yours.
Yep, I had the Stone Glacier that got lent to me by someone I've never met, who was excited that I was going, and mailed it to me. I'd only known him through Facebook and messaged him a couple times. One of my wife's friends, and he mailed me his Stone Glacier ruck. He was like, "Get it dirty. I don't care. Get blood on it." He's like, "It makes me happy."
Yep. No.
So, and I used it. It's just not my style.
So I was going to ask you, what made you go with? Because Stone Glacier and Badlands are good brands.
Yes,
really good brands. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk shit about either one. They're both good.
No.
But what made you go with Badlands and not?
More pockets.
More pockets.
More accessibility. Just so I know right where things are at. It's kind of got a more. Unfortunately the Stone Glacier is what the Badlands is. It's what it's not, what it can deliver. It's one giant pocket, one or two giant pockets, which is fine if that's how you want to roll. It's just however you stop. I just don't like throwing everything in one giant bag, is essentially. Other than that, Stone Glacier is like super comfortable. It's really good. But as far as like the Badlands has a couple more pockets, like side pouches on the belt that I appreciate those a little bit more. They're just big enough for, say, like a phone in your rangefinder. Yep. So I do like it a little more. I'm just a small amount less comfortable than the Stone Glacier, but it's not a deal breaker to me. And so but it's easy to use too. It really is. I haven't stretched it out like I should, like I did with the Stone Glacier. Like if we were going to quarter something and throw it in there. But like I said, very happy with it, and it's gonna be going on the next few hunts, most definitely.
Yep. Which I'm not going to say anything yet because we don't have it set in stone, but we are planning our next hunt. It won't be an elk hunt. We're planning on something else. Sounds like Austin and Jared are in. Possibly Kyle's in too.
I would love it.
So
get the band was a good good merry band. It's a good the fellowship.
We had a lot of good laughs, and I'm gonna ask you what your favorite memory was of that hunt. I'll go ahead and tell you mine. When we got caught in the thunderstorm on the mountain, and
My poncho?
Your poncho.
My
was
Walmart
ripping.
poncho?
But then,
Oh, no.
Jared, myself, and Kyle, we couldn't help, but we were laughing the whole time.
You didn't have it.
Yeah, and we get hiding behind that pine tree, and Austin is miserable.
Yeah, he's not. He really took Captain Serious to the next level.
And we're just laughing.
He went from major serious. He got promoted to major.
But after they stopped storming, he was fine again.
He was fine.
Yeah.
He was fine. He was so wanting to like see an elk, and I think that had a lot to do with it too.
Yep,
And
100%.
his
at that
feet were
point,
killing him, and my feet did great.
yeah, honestly, my feet did good.
I'm gonna get.
It was my cardio. That was the issue.
Yeah, and that's why I still ruck, and like I'm back to So my favorite part, I think, was probably the last week when we were actually able to see some animals, and like just being in the ambush site and sitting down there and being getting immersed with the mountain. I did not like seeing all those people running around with cigarettes and shit.
Yeah,
and
every time we ran into somebody, and I will say this: we met some pretty cool hunters.
No doubt about it.
And
No
really
doubt
cool
about
people that we talked to on the side of the mountain.
People driving from West Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so 100% met some cool people, but at the same time, they were still people.
Yeah, I'm like, like I said, walking like that. The first time we were able to sit down in the unit, and it got to our site, and actually, the first time I'd done anything like that since the military, like to where I'd actually been able to like kind of, I'd have to sit down and actually, no comms, nothing, maybe a little bit, from the top of the mountain. I think also one of the scariest parts was driving in.
That first, yeah.
I think I was gonna. I think my pucker factor was at 11. Going over the mountain in my truck.
Kyle and I were even say that when we were driving.
This old man's gonna have a heart attack.
But then we said he's got to keep going. We can't turn around.
And you didn't even know I was freaking out.
Yeah.
He's like, you can just know, and like I guarantee you, he's freaking out. Like, ooh, like I'd probably have to like give me, get ready to put an IV in me or zap me.
So people who've never traveled on these, I don't know. I don't want to call them roads because they're not.
They're trails.
Yeah. But some of them, they're so steep. When you go up, you can't see what you're going down on.
I just lose you, and you disappear. Yeah. And I don't know if you went down the side of the mountain.
Yeah, is he dead or is he still good?
Am I going to my death?
Yeah.
So you go up, and the nose of the vehicle is staring into the mountain sky, and then you tip over, and then you're like, "Whoo!
Okay.
Oh my God!"
I see Cody. He's alive.
And so the thing we think is when we get there is we think that we're gonna get there and like this is so remote. Yeah. There's no damn human that's gonna even think about taking this trail up.
We're the only dumb ones. So like,
There's like 5 trucks up there.
Yeah.
There's like a minivan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those guys, man.
I'm like,
blowing tires.
Yeah. Which, we said something about them blowing a tire. Then it happened.
Then then we got that, but we fixed it. Yeah. We got it squared away, and that allowed Kyle and I to go scout that spot where we almost hit glory.
Oh man. So
on
close.
that spot, but
So I've talked about Kyle and I have talked about our perspective with that cow elk, and how we were so close, and after we knew the elk had bypassed us, but she was heading right to you guys. We're like, oh, they're gonna get it. Yeah. So if you want to take over, like, what was your perspective of that?
Oh, my thing is the way I got about a 1 to 2 second glimpse at that, and the first thing that came to my mind is how big it was.
Yeah.
I showed the video to my wife, and she's like, that ain't Vince. Like, what? Like, it really is that big. I'm like, it's like the size of a horse, and she's like. She's calling bullshit, and I'm like, I'm serious how big this thing was, especially when you see it from 70 to 80 yards away. Yeah. And it's still that big. Yeah. So unfortunately I was like, it's coming right to Austin. Austin's gonna nail this elk. And then it laughed, and we're like, it just winded us. There's no way in hell.
We had a front come in that night. And the wind was kind of swirling. Like, it would go the way we thought it was going, and all of a sudden swirl a little bit.
Yeah, and I saw that video what you were talking about when we put the video up. Watch how it jumped, and weird. Yep. And so, who knows what spooked it? Like I said, it might have unfortunately got it might have gotten wind of us. Seeing the moose was pretty cool.
Moose is really cool,
Everything's huge there. Like Kyle and I saw the gigantic rabbit, the gigantic skunk.
I forgot about that. You told us that. Well, then we had that fox in our camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, do you remember?
I don't remember that.
It was right behind you. We were doing a podcast, and Kyle and I were
Yeah. Now I remember.
Also, Kyle and I are like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's huge.
I think we had a good time just about every night, shooting it. Yeah. So as far as like the best time, the worst time was going down to Glenwood Springs. Screw that place. And I've talked to other people that are from Colorado that avoid that place like the plague.
I got angry.
I did too. I'm glad we all
did.
felt the same way.
Angry.
I mean, I'm not. No offense to your town if you're from there, but it's a giant tourist trap.
Yeah, and
on I-70.
He means no offense. I mean offense. I don't like.
We're driving the ball.
Yeah,
Right.
burn it down.
You need to get a new town.
Yeah, I hated
No one
about
was
that place.
there. It is very. It's a non-hunter type of town.
Yeah,
and they're there. People are getting their tags, but getting to where you need to go. It's not my kind of people.
By far, if you're if you got to go to town to go somewhere and you're in that part of Colorado, go to Steamboat.
Steamboat is awesome.
Steamboat was way better.
Steamboat is an awesome place, man. I unfortunately like when you in medicine, you don't. The Illinois is a lot better like job wise than Colorado because Colorado they don't have to get people to go to Colorado. You live in Colorado, you're going to get paid market value there. You living in Colorado is is the compensation. Where Illinois and like I have a ER doctor friend who flies from Colorado to work in Illinois 5 days a week.
Because he makes that much money here.
He does.
Good for him.
Yep, former police officer, now ER doctor,
Good for him.
Yep, he flies back to Colorado and hikes, snowboards, does whatever for a few days, then flies back to Illinois to work. Just because Colorado, you can't dictate, you can't get that kind of salary in Colorado like you can in Illinois. It's the demand. So but other than that, like if I can do it all again, man.
Yep.
I don't know. I like that area a lot.
I definitely foresee us doing another elk hunt. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just the fellowship again, us four.
I'm fine with the fellowship.
You have to find it's hard sometimes to find idiots to go with you. We found our idiots.
Yeah. There's a no matter what. I think that the rapport was there. I think that we
learned a lot.
We knew what we were. We may not have known what we were doing, but now I think we know each other enough to work it.
Yep.
Know what equipment we need. What not to do.
Yeah, I actually really liked yours and Austin's tents you had because you guys had the same tent, right? If I remember.
I don't think so.
So I thought you did.
Austin's. I have like a little.
Very similar anyway.
Yeah, I've something I bought off the Elk 101 store. I cannot tell you the brand right now because I haven't popped it out in a while. But it's at first it's very complicated to get out. I'm like, what the hell, And like you got to get all of these damn, get the frame out. But once it's together, it's solid.
Yep. And you guys actually. So one thing, you guys actually had a floor to your tent.
Yes.
Which I know because I know Austin thought I was crazy because the tent I had, I was just using it's a tarp from Cavario.
Yeah.
And it's floorless, which makes
I
it
remember
super
that.
light.
Yeah.
But it's floorless. And I remember Austin is just like, you're nuts, bud.
Did you slept in your truck though when we were at the second
base camp? Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's there.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
The one good thing about that was like I got to bed like as soon early. Yeah. Like I got down early, and then by the time 4:30 rolled around, I was up and moving. Got our coffee, and we were out.
And there was a porta potty there at that camp. That was nice.
Yes, that would. It's just too many people, man. It's just unfortunately that time of year, and that it is what they say. There's just. The mountain is full of people, and people's scent is everywhere, all over that mountain. You're just trying to. Unfortunately, you're relying on luck with the elk when it comes to that. We know they're there. We've seen it. I mean,
we found first sign
everywhere.
So it's 100%. Like I just think next time we gotta stay more mobile. That's
No
gonna
doubt
be-
about it.
Just keep hiking, and
I agree.
that's gonna be our best bet.
Well, we got to scout better because we even that one lake, that one really nice, like there's no way anyone's up there. We get there and there's like 3 tents or
Yeah.
all. I mean, like we
And
are
I
getting
have no
out.
doubt they were brought in by horses because they had
There's
a
no doubt
table.
about it.
They had a table there.
We were going up that mountain the
Yeah.
entire time, and like to get to that lake, and then get there. And like I said, they got this big, nice 8-man tent with a table and everything. And we were like, man, we should just. I guess I don't feel bad about not getting up here, because
yeah.
they're hunting all along that that mountain, the base of that mountain. I just think that we'll get it. It's just gonna be like you said. I know we're gonna have to shell out some cash for some outfitter, but
If we want to go that route, yep, 100%. That and if you haven't started already, I'd start buying points for like Wyoming or something.
that's a good idea.
Yep, I've already got quite a bit of numbers. I know Kyle started last year buying points. So I know I wouldn't mind trying another state, and Wyoming's not as far of a drive.
Yeah. So we're going and soon on our trip. I had another trip possibly planned, and the gentleman that I was going to go with, good dude, he just hasn't been able, due to like a military obligations, he hasn't been able to get the points for Montana, and so I'm just starting to kind of get into the world of points.
That's what's nice about Colorado. You go, hey, my September's free, your September's free, we can go. It's over the counter. But if you want to start looking at other places, I start getting points. Start applying and playing it out.
Yep.
A little bit. So
Definitely.
But yep, it is what it is. Anything else you want to talk about, or
No. I think that we talked outside about at Farm King about your hog hunt and everything and how awesome that was.
I think we're gonna go in February if you want to go.
February is a good time
Yep,
because
so-
I have nothing going on
Yep, I think
sports
we're
wise.
gonna go, and
Even elk can be a problem because I got a little cross country star now.
Yeah. That's running season. So
Yes, it is. It's right in the middle of running season, so it's kind of like
yeah.
it's kind of a wait and see.
And what's nice about that hog hunt, man, it's only a couple days.
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a blast. It's completely opposite of our elk hunt. It's easy. There's not a lot of hiking and target rich environment.
Absolutely, but this part of it is I kind of liked a lot of actually getting out there and getting having to work to get to there.
Yeah,
there's something. It sounds cheesy, but it's like it feels a little bit better having to work to get.
100%, because I'm not gonna. The hog hunt wasn't work. I'll flat out like I'm not gonna try to
like
make
my
it,
buck.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of work. I don't want to rely on breaking my elbow and making a bunch of noise.
Yeah, no, the completely opposite.
No one do what I did.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, hopefully we'll start ironing out the details of our next big hunt. But that will be very exciting. I think you will enjoy it.
I'm pretty fired up about it. At least once a year we need to get the gang together and
I think I don't know if you're going to be on it at all, but talk to Austin. He's going to actually get some video cameras and he's going to film some so this season. So I'll have more to the channel. So I'm sure you'll be on it some. But yeah, we are filming this August 13th. This podcast probably won't come out till beginning of September. I know I've been slacking here, guys, on the podcast. My bad. Just been busy with life. We're gonna hit it hard in September and continue it all the way through hunting season with the podcast. I'm gonna for sure try to come out with one every once a week. If not, if say that's something comes up, whatever, but at least once every 2 weeks. But definitely want to try to do one every week. We're going to start it out with Jared here in September and hopefully have him back on with him after he's behind another big deer. Hopefully.
Hey, visualizing it'll happen, right?
Yep. So appreciate all the support, guys. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Appreciate it. Have a good one.